Today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am streaming to you from beautiful, sunny Budapest. I hope everybody has had a great weekend and welcome to this class. We are covering Task 2 Essay, Writing Strategy, and a sample for the academic version, but Task 2 is basically the same idea for the general version as well. Hello students, hi Sojida. Hello members, Awaz, Carolina, good to see you in class. Hi Pachu. This lesson is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Check us out there, and for the general version of the test, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On those websites, we have 6 original practice exams, over 100 hours of videos, and a fully interactive course for your phone, tablet, PC. Click that big red button to join us. Green background for the general at gieltshelp.com and blue background for the academic at aehelp.com. Click that red button to join us there. Fredsky, Hidre, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Also, download our app, Academic IELTS Help. Look for our logo. And if you have questions, send me an email. Adrian, A-D-R-I-A-N, at aehelp.com. Music beats, I'm doing great. Thank you. Okay, we have a little bit of an interesting schedule coming up over the next 10 days. Please take note of that. So today we will start our Task 2. Tomorrow we will have a question and answer session for members, and then on on Tuesday we will have a speaking part 3 for everyone, and then there's no class from the 20th to the 25th. I will be away on a trip to Austria, and then I will be back on the 26th with a speaking part 1 lesson for everybody. Let's get right into our IELTS writing task 2. You can ask me questions at any time about the writing, students, since we are focusing on writing today. Try to keep your questions focused on the writing, especially task 2. Thank you, Marasa. And I'll be happy to answer those questions. So here we go. IELTS writing task 2. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. It's worth 2/3 of your writing score, your total writing score. So make sure that you spend 2/3 of your time in the writing section, the 40 minutes. They will not tell you when the 20 minutes is up for task 1. So careful, pay attention. Make sure to time yourself at home when you're doing these, okay? All right, kind of an interesting question for today. Let's read it. It's always step 1. Electric mobility devices like scooters, rollers, segways, and hoverboards are becoming very popular tools for commuting in cities. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages of this development and give your own opinion. It's a fun topic for our modern world. And you have to write at least 250 words. That means minimum. That doesn't mean you should write 250 words exactly, okay? It means you should write a little bit more. If you want to get a full mark for completing the task, you need to write more words. Now, of course, it has to make sense. So quality over quantity. Amay, segways are, Amay's asking, what are segways? Segways are those funky devices you see people riding around. I'm sure most of you have seen them, where you have a person and they're kind of motoring along. They've got 2 wheels and this handle that you hold, and then you just basically cruise, okay? All right. So let's paraphrase this question, students. Let's make sure that we understand what we are discussing And let's gather some thoughts and some vocabulary on this. So look at the question, paraphrase it as best as you can to make sure you know what's going on. All right? Even if you don't understand it right away, so Prajwal says, I don't understand this question. Prajwal, just start to paraphrase it as you go, and you might realize that, oh, okay, I see what the question is asking. So sometimes if the question's not clear, starting to paraphrase the words that you recognize will help you. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do the same. So electric mobility devices, electric using electricity, little engines. Mobility means movement. Device is some kind of a gadget or a machine, okay? Like scooters, rollers, segways, and hoverboards. You can't really paraphrase those. They are just what they are. So automated vehicles like, you can say electric bikes. That would be another one. Scooters are widespread. Okay. When an item or an object is popular in the world, we can say that it's widespread. Widespread is one word using wide and spread together. Okay. Are widespread and used for traveling around cities, or instead of cities, we can say urban areas. Okay? Always a way to paraphrase. Okay? All right? So Marasa says electric two-wheel vehicles like scooters, segways, rollers become more common among people. What are the benefits and deficits of such devices? Illustrate this and give your own views. Murasa, a very nice paraphrase, okay? I'll check out the missing S in a second, Burke. Pachu says personal devices like electric scooters, segways, rollers, hoverboards are gaining popularity to go to work in cities. Very good, Pachu. Okay. All right. Good so far. All right. There we go. Good. So I've gotten it that far, and definitely I always want to paraphrase this part so that I focus on the specific style of question. Okay. So I highly recommend paraphrasing that the same way that Marasa and some other students have done. Ame says there is a huge rise in the usage of electric motor gadgets for transport to various places all over the country, especially scooters, segways, and hoverboards. Ame, very good. Yeah, so electric motor gadget transports to various places all over cities, I think, rather than countries. We're not there yet, I think. Rajveer says electric vehicles such as scooters, rollers, segways, and hoverboards are becoming prevalent commuting tools in metropolitan areas. Discuss benefits and deficits of this phenomenon and give your own opinion. Rajveer, beautiful paraphrasing. Really nicely done. Okay, so some nice paraphrasing there, students. Can't catch everybody, but I'll catch different students at different times. Okay, so explain the benefits and deficits. By the way, students, I recommend avoiding the word huge in writing. Huge is very colloquial. It's almost slang. Often these days we overuse the word huge. So try to stay away from the word huge, students. Explain the benefits and deficits of this phenomenon and provide your own perspectives. All right. So that's my paraphrase. Some nice paraphrasing there by other students. Okay, so next, before we begin our introduction, okay, we can definitely potentially use our paraphrasing in our introduction later. And we can, of course, copy-paste in the computer-based exam for that as well. So our next step is to identify the topic of the question. So always think about the topic, the controlling idea. Never just start writing randomly as ideas come to your head. That's a really bad idea. And I see students doing that way too often, where they just think, oh yeah, okay, I understand the question, and I'm just going to start writing, and my IELTS teacher told me the introduction is just paraphrasing the question, and then I give point 1 argument, supporting point 1, supporting point 2, body paragraph 2, topic sentence, supporting point 1, 2, and I'm just going to start writing. Okay, but what? So what is your point 1? What is your point 2? What are your supporting points? What's your argument? You can't just make that up as you go and hope that all of the pieces will fall into the correct place. That's a really bad idea. That's like taking a puzzle, putting the pieces into a hat, shaking it, and hoping that as you shake out the pieces, they will all magically fit together, and voila, you have a beautiful picture in the end. Not quite. When you have a puzzle, I think most of us look at the picture, analyze the picture, look at the colors, the shapes. Then we start with the corners, we make a plan, then we organize the puzzle pieces, and then we put it together. Otherwise, putting together a 1,000-piece puzzle is really tricky, okay? Same thing when you have an essay with 250, 300 words. If you just think, okay, I'll just let my mind flow into my pen and it'll fit together, not a good idea, okay? So just a note here, students. Do not write a task 2 essay without planning first. You cannot hope that you will, in real time, organize your thoughts effectively and create a clear essay. And this is doubly true when you're writing in another language, because even when you write an essay in your own language, you should plan it. When you're writing a language in another essay, it's even more important to plan it because you have a language barrier. Okay? Music beats British Council or IDP, same thing. Okay? 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Same idea. It doesn't matter. Same exam, same approach, same marking criteria. They have to be. They have to have the same marking rubric. So it doesn't matter. They're basically 2 parts of the same organization. All right? Okay, so how do we plan the essay? Well, first thing, we identify the topic. So what is the topic here? Okay. What's the topic? What are we talking about? Dilber, follow this lesson, practice what I'm teaching today, and that's what you need to do to go from a band 6 to 7. Rajveer says automatic vehicles. Yeah. Yeah, so small automatic transport vehicles or small electric vehicles. Okay? Those are all good. Small electric vehicles is even maybe better. Sure. Okay. What are these? So what is a small electric vehicle? Okay. Let's go through the what, why, how here. Nice and carefully. Again, you need to practice this what, why, how for the topic so that your brain can come up with clear, precise ideas so that you can write fast and clear. Okay? So the topic, it's small electric vehicles. What are these? What are they? Can anybody tell me in one simple sentence? Right, Koti. Writing memorized phrases, if it fits perfectly, which often they don't, then it's fine. Okay. At the end of the day, everything that you use and say for language is memorized at some point. Okay. All right. So Marasa says they're two-wheeled vehicles which carry people from point A to point B. Sure. So Marasa's got a good start there. So two-wheeled electric vehicles that carry usually one passenger, right? From point A to point B. Okay. Info says small transport vehicles mainly used for entertainment. I don't think so, Info NP. I don't think it's used for entertainment. I think a lot of people use them functionally. Fresgy Hirde right away says their vehicles facilitated to go from home and work. That's more the Y answer. Yeah, it has a small electric engine or a small electric motor. Yeah, very good. Tan says they're electric vehicles. Welcome, by the way, Tan. I saw that you signed up for a membership at the end of the last class. That's great. You can send me an email and I'll send you the perks. So, they're electric vehicles used for transportation. Yeah. Okay. Right, Katu, we have lots of example task 2 essays on our website. We don't like to give students templates. We want you to think, plan, develop, and write your own essay. That's the best way to get a high score. Diru, that's again answering the why question. So the what question is two-wheeled electric vehicles that carry usually one passenger from point A to point B. Okay. Next question. Why do people use them? And this is the why question, and some of you are answering the why question for the what. So Diru Bambu says they're eco-friendly is an answer. That's definitely one answer, but that's for the why. That's not for the what. Make sure that you can separate your what, why, how ideas. Okay. Awaz says for entertainment, possibly. Okay, why else? Wesker says they're convenient. Okay, keep thinking in more tangible ways. Murasa says they're light and fast. Okay. Easy to operate. Murasa says they're cheap. Okay. Hassan says they're flexible modes of transportation. Yeah. Sure. I don't know if people simply use them because they're modern, Andy. So when you're thinking about the why, that's a very important question. Try to think about tangibles, which means try to think about ideas that you can count or you can see or you can touch. It's visualize yourself. It's 7 a.m. You have to go to work. You were up late last night, taking care of the children, doing house chores. Maybe you watched a movie. Why don't I just jump on my bike? Why do I jump on my electric bike? I don't know if anybody actually said this. I was looking at the chat, but I didn't really see this. Okay. Again, the better that you can think of the right ideas, the easier your essay will be. So why don't I just take my bicycle? Why do I take an electric bicycle in the morning? Hi, Prithviraj. So I would say because they're cheap, also it saves energy. And instead of time, I would say saves energy, or fast, saves energy and time. Okay, sure. So how can electric devices, vehicles, do this? Okay, so do not use gas and emit CO2. Okay, so I'll give you the first one. Okay, how does it save energy? Yep, so it's not using fossil fuels. So how does it save my energy? Does not need physical movement like pedaling. Pedaling a bike. Okay. Sure. How does it save time? Marasa says it requires less elbow grease. You're right, Marasa. Nice use of that idiom. Roshni, that's paddling. That's different. Paddling is like this. Pedaling is like this. Okay. Andy, very good. No need to park it. What else? Chancloil, beautiful name. Interesting. Okay, you're right. So avoid traffic. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, less space. Very good. Yeah, so some really good answers there. All right, so you're probably realizing that we're already into some of the advantages. So this, if I go on to the controlling ideas, then this one here, the Y, is already the advantages. Obviously, why do people use them? It's because of the advantages that people use them, right? So I can just type that or copy that in here. So what are advantages? And the next question is, what are the disadvantages? So what are the disadvantages of using these electric mobility devices? Juan Pablo, we have to discuss both sides. So Juan Pablo is asking, what do we focus on? Don't forget the question. It says discuss the advantages and disadvantages. So you have to focus on both, Juan Pablo. Marasa says they might be a little bit dangerous. In fact, it can be quite dangerous. If you look on social media, there are a lot of accidents in connection to this. Carolina, very clever, visualizing, I think. People become lazy. Yeah, I mean, already we're sitting in our offices all the time. So this is going to make us even more lazy. So can be dangerous. Okay. And so that's 1. And 2, makes people even lazier, less exercise. Right? Okay. Good. So, what's your opinion? Right? Don't forget your opinion. It's my last question. So, what is my opinion about these electric devices? What's your opinion? Let's see what people think about these electric devices. Yeah, so it can be bad for health, Violet Nguyen. Very good. Makes people lazy. More simply put, Violet Nguyen's correct. Bad for health. Okay. So Chance Cleary says, I believe they are useful, but they need to be used cautiously. Yeah. Okay, that's clever. Stefan says, lithium battery production is very dirty. Stefan, for a university essay, yes. For the IELTS essay, no. For the IELTS essay, keep it simple. Okay? Talking about the lithium battery industry for this essay, I think would be a bad idea. All right? Keep it simpler. You're going for those high band scores. That's your goal, Stefan. Then in university and sociology and political science, you can get into those nitty-gritty details. Okay? Massimo says, using these electric devices is very comfortable in big cities. Okay? Abualhor Darar says it's suitable for specific cases and in specific situations. Yeah. Okay. So that would be my idea as well. They're suitable for certain situations and must be used with care. Okay? Joanne says, in my opinion, they are very dangerous and should be avoided in big cities. Possible to do that as well. Okay, great. So now we have all of the information that we need to create a powerful thesis statement. Okay? So let's do that together. Write your thesis statement. Okay, so your thesis statement is basically advantages and disadvantages of, or disadvantages points, plus your opinion. That will create your thesis statement. Write it directly. So write your good thesis statements for me for this task 2 essay, students. So here, that's my thesis statement. Let's see what you come up with for your thesis statement. Okay? And again, I'm showing you a band 9 level essay. And this is what you need to do if you're looking for that band 7, band 8, band 9. Okay? Andy Den says, I believe that this advancement of electric vehicles are a step forward for the development of mobility since it reduces the use of gas and coal, even though it results in less exercise. Okay, Andy, not bad. You have a different approach than I do. It works. Just be careful on a couple of points with your writing, Andy. Firstly, don't use the future participle will, so keep it present tense. Make your essay a general statement, argument. Okay. Ahmed says, initially, it is necessary for our daily life, but if we cannot control these vehicles, it is dangerous in the future. Okay, Ahmed, rethink it. Remember, you have to write clearly, careful with your grammar. Music Beat says, electronic mobility gadgets have a set of pros and cons. On the positive side, it's cheaper and conductive for people who are disabled, but on the darker side, its disadvantages are dangerous and make people lazy. All right. You need to have parallel grammar. So rethink how you can write parallel grammar. Pruthvaraj says, this essay would highlight not only the plus point of small vehicles that people use these days, but also give information on the negative side. Pruthvaraj, that's a band 5 thesis because it's not clear what you're telling me, and all you're doing with that, Pruthvaraj, is repeating the question. I know what the question is. As the examiner, I read the question, I know the question. I'm looking for an answer, not a repeat of the question, okay? Prajwal, if I didn't catch yours, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's because there's 150 students in the class. But please don't spam the chat with your questions. Otherwise, I'll boot you from the class. Thank you. Hikmatillo says, the benefits of electric vehicles are really comfortable for reaching short destinations, while the drawbacks of this makes individuals lazier. I'm certain that they are great. Okay, Hikmatillo, that's not bad. Don't repeat yourself, especially in the thesis. So makes people lazier and lack of exercise is the same idea, Hikmatillo. Okay? All right. Rihan says, some of the advantages to use automated vehicles are environmentally friendly as well as less expensive. Okay, Rihan, a little bit with the parallel grammar. So let me do that one more time, Rihan. The advantages of automated small vehicles are saving the environment and money, while the negatives are laziness and danger, maybe. Okay. However, I believe in the pros more than the cons. Okay. Okay. So here we go. Young Lion, yes, you definitely need to use linking words and conjunctions well in your essay to make it flow. That's important. Okay. All right. So here is my thesis statement. The advantages of electric vehicles are saving time and energy, whereas their disadvantages are lack of safety and health. And in fact, I do not need this comma here because the dependent clause comes after the independent clause. And here I just chose to do it in 2 sentences. Nevertheless, I think they are a great development when used with care in certain contexts. Okay? So that will get you a nice high band score. All right? Okay. Now, so this is your band 7 to 9 thesis. And the one that was before, Prithviraj, don't take this the wrong way, I'm not poking at you, but it's a good example because a lot of students do this. So there are a plethora of benefits and deficits to small electric vehicles. In this essay, I will discuss both and give my own opinion. Okay, so this is your band 5 to 6, maybe 6.5 thesis. Okay. So here is a good comparison for you of what examiners will look for, okay? When an examiner reads this kind of thesis, immediately in their mind, they start thinking, okay, this student understands the concept of persuasive essay, the use of a direct thesis. I have an outline of their essay in their thesis. I know what paragraphs we'll discuss, body 1, body 2. In this one, the examiner thinks, okay, this student took a very simple IELTS course. They learned from the teacher to just give this kind of a statement. It's an indirect thesis. It doesn't specify the essay. I just read 70 other thesis statements like this. This is probably going to be like a band 5, 5.5, maybe a 6 if it's really well written. Okay? So keep that in mind. Okay? So choose this, not this. To do this, plan, practice. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now we can write the introductory paragraph after all that planning. And believe me, students, when you do this and practice this at home, you will become very fast and you can get to this thesis in just a few minutes, okay? Of course, the planning during your official IELTS, it happens in your mind. Some students actually will write down some of the key points for the why questions, some high band students. Okay, so the introductory paragraph, or let's just keep it simple, the introduction, will have 3 parts. They will be the hook, the background, and the thesis. And yes, a good introduction does have a hook, especially for this question. I think there are a lot of great sentences that you can come up with. Okay? All right. Hickmatillo, absolutely collocations can be useful as well. A hook, NSJ 94, is a simple sentence that includes the topic of the essay and catches the reader's attention. NSJ 94, if you look at the statement just above your comment, you'll see it there. Marasa says, electric devices became more common among people across the globe. That would be a hook. Okay. Andy says, Segways and hoverboards are currently prevalent as an option for citizens to move from one point to another. Okay, that's good too, Andy. It's not bad at all. Pachu says, personal electric mobility devices are an increasing trend across the world. That's also good, Pachu. Quang Nguyen says, automatic vehicles are now seen everywhere over developed areas. Okay, that's good. Young Lion, I'm not sure what ebooks. I think the Cambridge ebooks are pretty good to prepare for the exam. Also, use our website, aehelp.com or glshelp.com, especially the premium course. There's lots of goodies there for you to prepare. Okay. Rajveer says, automatic transportation devices have been used by billions of people around the globe for the last 5 years. Brilliant. Rajveer, that's great. Use that number. Billions. Yeah, sure. It's maybe not in the billions, but you could say millions. Okay? And still very powerful. All right, so there's my hook. Millions of people are using small electric vehicles to move around cities in the past half-decade. Boom, that's it. Nothing too complex. I want to make sure that my grammar is clear, that I'm using the topic, and that's it. Okay? Now, I can give my background. Okay? And this is where your planning will not only save you time because you know what you're writing, but you can actually use your planning, especially for the paraphrasing of the thesis, in the background. Okay? So if I go back, I can grab this part and I can stick it in for my background. So the paraphrasing of the thesis is often good for the background. So automated vehicles like electric bikes and scooters are widespread and used for traveling around urban areas to and from work. Okay, so the background, I'm giving a definition of the topic. The definition of the topic is the small electric vehicles. So millions of people are using small electric vehicles to move around cities in the past half decade. These automated, so I'm just going to make it a little bit more smooth now that I have that hook. These automated vehicles, like electric bikes and scooters, are widespread and used for traveling around urban areas to and from work and school. Okay. Why are we talking about this? What's the importance of this question? Okay, so the background has two parts. The background's first part is define the topic. Tell your reader that you understand what you're talking about. Okay, so define your topic. The second part of the background is the importance. Okay, so tell your reader why it's important to read a whole essay on this topic. So Rajveer says they are taking over traditional transportation means. Okay, possible, Rajveer, that could work for the importance. So Rajveer says here, this is Rajveer Singh, is saying that it's important because they're taking over the traditional means of transportation. Sure. What else? Okay. Change. So anytime a new device or a new idea or a law has a major impact and creates change for humanity, it's important to talk about it, right? Okay, so this technological advancement is creating a major change in the workings of commuting on roadways. Okay? So that's why it's important to talk about it, because it's changing the way that traffic flows, the way that we commute using the roads in cities. So this technological advancement is creating a major change in the workings of commuting on roadways. Okay? If you want to really simplify this last part of it, you could do that, all right? Always work to be concise and to simplify when it's possible. So this technological advancement is creating a major change in the flow of traffic. So it's important to talk about it, right? It's going to affect pedestrians, bicyclists, vehicle drivers, absolutely. And then comes our thesis. Okay? And for the thesis, all I need to do now is take my high band thesis from here and copy it in. Okay? So there is my band 9 introductory paragraph. Okay? Read with me. Millions of people are using small electric vehicles to move around cities in the past half decade. These automated vehicles, like electric bikes and scooters, are widespread and used for traveling around urban areas to and from work and school. This technological advancement is creating a major change in the flow of traffic. The advancement of electric vehicles are saving time, or the advantages of electric vehicles are saving time and energy, whereas their disadvantages are lack of safety and health. Nevertheless, I think they are a great development when used with care in certain context. Okay? Now, Sanya is asking, isn't the introduction too long? Great. I'm really happy you asked me that, Sanya. Is this introduction too long? What do you think? Satisfying times. Boom. So, is this introduction too long? What do you think? Is it too long? No, it's not too long. Let's see how long it is, okay? Just for fun. And I can shorten it a little bit. Remember, I'm piecing this together. There is a little bit of redundancy. So I can definitely take out a few words, maybe 6, 7 words. But overall, okay, now take out my thesis and so on. So this is about 80 words, okay, this introduction. Okay, so let's analyze that for a second, okay? So it's about 80 words, this introduction. How many paragraphs do I have? I have 4 paragraphs, okay? My 4 paragraphs total, if I'm going for band 9, equal 300 words, okay? A band 8, band 9 essay will be much closer to 300 words than to 250. Remember, 250 words is the absolute minimum, okay? 300 divided by 4 equals 75, right? Okay, following with me so far? Okay, so 300 divided by 4 is roughly 75, right? Chabi, yes, the hook is important, okay? And I'll explain that why. So let's save that question for the next one, okay? Is the hook important? That'll be the next question. I know that's a question for many students. So if I divide 300 by 4, it's 75. Now, remember, students, that your conclusion is your shortest paragraph. Your introduction has to be clear. Why? Because your reader knows nothing, okay? Your conclusion doesn't have to be that long because your reader already understands your ideas, your arguments, so you can keep your conclusion shorter. So if you want to really think about this like numbers, okay? Like how should this work? The introduction, a good introduction, is equal to anywhere from, let's say, 65 to 85 words, okay? Body 1, body 2 is going to be equal to, body 1, body 2, let's do a little bit different. And 2 will be equal to about 85 words. Let's make it 80 to 90 if I want to be really finicky. And your conclusion will be equal to roughly 50 to 60 words. So that's how you should think about it. Okay, a good introduction is 65 to 85 words average. All right, body 1, body 2, 80 to 90 words average, and conclusion is 50 to 60 words. That's my 4 paragraphs. Does that make sense? Is that clear now? Okay, the introduction has to be more than just a paraphrase of the question, because just paraphrasing the question doesn't give anything to your reader. It doesn't give any additional ideas of what you're actually writing, okay? Oh, and students, to back up and support my argument, Our students who join our classes, do our premium course, go through the writing section, use our editing services. Many of them, most of them, go from a band 5.5, band 6 to 7.5.8. And we might even have students in the class that'll actually tell you that, because some of our older students come back. One of the most amazing stories was one of our students just the other week, in 2 weeks, changing their structure, their analysis. They went from a band 6 to a band 8.5. So keep that in mind, okay? Don't just believe what I say, believe the way that our students perform, okay? All right, so I'm going to stop with the introductory paragraph. Oh, Chabi, yes, the hook is important. I said I would answer that question for 2 reasons, okay? Reason number 1, it clearly shows the examiner, who is also, of course, your reader, that you have accurately identified the topic and that you know standard university level writing structure, okay? And 2, it helps you, the writer or the author, to focus on the topic that you will write about. 3, it starts your essay with a hopefully clear, short, and grammatically accurate sentence. Okay? So those are the 3 reasons why you should practice to write a hook. And it's easy. Okay? It's like an easy point. Why not take it? Take that point. Okay? All right. Students, it's beautiful. Nice work today. Again, tomorrow I will be back. And in tomorrow's class at the same time, we're going to take our thesis. And from our thesis, we will develop the 2 body paragraphs, body 1, body 2, and then write a conclusion. And hopefully we'll end up with roughly a 300 word essay. Young Lion, yes, I will save this, of course, and eventually this will go up on our YouTube community board as well. So keep practicing, students. Work on original, effective, good introductory paragraphs. First impressions are very important in writing, just like in speaking, when meeting a new person. So your introduction has to be a good impression, okay? Again, visit us at aehelp.com. Join our premium package there for some HD videos, original practice exams, fully interactive course, app for your phone. We're definitely one of the leaders in IELTS preparation. Hopefully I will see most of you tomorrow, and I wish all of you a fantastic rest of your weekend. Hopefully you get some good rest, rejuvenate, revitalize yourself, fill yourself with energy for the upcoming week. Bye for now. Much love from Budapest.